networks, we maintain and build Ireland's power network, connecting us all to a supply of electricity that we can rely on. From shops and hospitals to homes and businesses, we keep the nation humming.
Today, we're better connected than ever before. On Ireland's best performing mobile network, everyone can follow their curiosity with unlimited data and no data caps on Vodafone Bill Pay.
Because these guys are committed to your financial well-being, they want to help protect you against fraudsters trying to steal your account details.
And your money.
Exactly. So, spread the word. Bank of Ireland will never send you a text or an email with a link asking for your
full 365 PIN number?
Yeah, or asking for
your one-time passcode.
What she said. To my favourite son. Couldn't be for me. Search Bank of Ireland Security, and together we won't let the fraudsters win.
We were told the game was over before we'd even started. We were told our bodies weren't made for it. It wasn't our time to play. We played anyway. And together we played like there was no tomorrow. And they told us that was fine. You can play. You're good enough. And thought that was good enough for us. It wasn't. We are relentless. The game isn't over until we say it's over. Until we get everything we've given everything for. Until we level the playing field.
Lidl, proud supporters of ladies' Gaelic football. Ah, the hearty roast. Where the family comes together and everything stops. For the perfect roast, only Bisto Best gravy will do. Made with real meat juices for that authentic, rich roasted flavour. Ah, Bisto.
For advice on skin care, get Expert Care Nationwide. Life Pharmacy sponsors Nationwide.
Welcome back to Nationwide and to Ballinahinch Castle in Connemara. The 700-acre estate provides a setting for many sporting activities and is home to the Connemara Shooting School. Shane Bisgood is an all-round sportsman who has won many awards and trophies for shooting, fishing and show jumping. But his real passion is shooting, and for the past 4 decades he has taught all over the world, including coaching the American Olympic team. Also an author, his book, The Complete Shot, explores every aspect of the sport, passing his knowledge to a new generation.
This sport is all about what we think. Yeah, how we use information in here, how we judge when we should be shooting at a target.
A battle against throat and neck cancer in 2004 has affected Shane's speech. But passionate as ever, he continues with his lifelong love of teaching.
If you know what you should see, what I refer to as the picture, make that picture correct and pull the trigger. What will happen to our target is you will see that shatter. You can make up your own minds which of you would like to go first. I love teaching. I love it. I competed for a while. It's true from the age of about 13. At the age of 10, I was given a gun. And I went out sitting, not really knowing what I was meant to be doing. It was trial and error, and frankly, more errors than trial. I wandered around the farm at home with this shoulder that was somewhat the colour of the plums my father grew in the Walden garden. Turn your head towards me, that's it. All right? And then from your hips. Teaching, I love taking somebody who had never touched a gun before in their lives and handing them that and showing them how to succeed, how to achieve something. That's it. All yours. Pull. You need to maintain that pressure
to get this on top of it.
Yeah.
Veronica, it takes a Connemara woman to start shooting.
Well, yes. I knew I'd miss it.
What did you enjoy about the lesson?
Shooting the target and the noise. It was just, yeah, and accomplishing something. But if you doubt yourself, you will miss. Oh. And it's just kind of saying, I'm going to hit it.
Yes.
In the lesson, you talk about the mind, and it's all in the mind.
If you give somebody a simple method, really simple method, and illustrate that and tell them what they should be thinking when they're trying to achieve, then it is wonderful to watch that moment. It happened to Veronica today, where she went from doubt when she was pulling the trigger to knowing she was going to succeed before she pulled the trigger. And that is the essence. Well.
At first it's harder than you think. When you actually get it and you actually shoot your first one, it's very simple. It's easy to have your primitive instinct to pull away from that method that you're meant to follow, but when you just put your mind straight and use the methods, then it's easy.
Well done. Well done.
Just about yourself, really, and it's kind of a battle with the mind to keep yourself straight, you know?
I love that you love teaching, sharing wisdom and sharing knowledge. It has to be the greatest gift of all.
Yes, it's fabulous. And I love that smile. I love the smile you put on somebody's face. Come on. Oh, yes.
In a more tranquil setting on the castle estate is the old walled garden. It had been badly neglected over the years, but designer Rachel Lamb and a team of skilled workers have been restoring it, all under the watchful eye of estate manager Cian Cuniff.
So massive project.
Huge, huge. Started in, winter 2016, 2017. The steps kind of open it all up. You're actually probably at the highest point of the garden here.
Explain to me the project you took on.
It was a huge project. The garden had gone into decades of just neglect, really, I suppose, disrepair. It was essentially a large lawn full of rushes and a few little pockets of planting. So it was a full restoration, drainage work, rebuilding the walls, redesign, replanting everything. It was huge. We found the original French drains under the soil. We cleaned them up and they're still working. So all our drainage is still using the original 100-year-old drainage to drain the garden as it stands right now. So it's reusing what was there before. It's fantastic. We knocked all the walls here in the garden. There was a team of local stonemasons working on them for about 6 months. Knocked the walls, rebuilt them using the same stone, and secured them. And look, they're stunning. They're just beautiful craftsmanship. And they're one of the first things a lot of people actually comment about in the garden is the walls themselves.
And of course, that Cairds and Sayre Clough, the stonemasons of Connemara, are famous.
Well, actually, funny, you sometimes see some of the stonemasons coming back in and showing their families occasionally. And, you know, and unfortunately, one of the guys has passed away since, but his family still actually take pride in this wall. They actually come at least once a year just to look at the wall almost, but it's personal for them as well.
There's great colour here, Cian.
Yeah, so this is our herbaceous border. We leave all the seed heads on here over winter. Provides food, provides shelter for all sorts of wildlife, so it's fantastic. You know, it's a huge turn in the thought process, I suppose, of what gardeners did probably for centuries, to be perfectly honest. And we've finally come to realise just how important nature is to us as well.
Which is the opposite to what we were doing for years.
Absolutely. It's a complete turnaround in the way people are thinking about gardens. I think we all thought about our little manicured lawn, and you have to look at the bigger picture. If we don't have wildlife, we don't have propagation, we don't have food eventually, you know, so it's so important.
And it's a partnership.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, if we promote the birds here, well, they're going to eat our slugs and snails and keep our cabbages a little bit cleaner for us. They'll also go for our fruits, but that's up to us to protect them in that sense. You know, it's finding that balance.
Into the project, what stage are you at?
The bare bones of everything are all, and more than that are in, but you ask any gardener, they're going to tell you a garden is never finished. This garden didn't go into neglect after a month or two. It happened over decades, and it takes decades to really bring that back to life in a real, true, meaningful sense. As gardeners, we have to think long term. You know, you don't plant a tree to see it next year. You plant it for 10, 15, 20 years' time and even further. So it's all long-term thinking. You have to think that way as a gardener. You have to think bigger picture.
This year, Ballinhinch Castle celebrates 75 years as a hotel. It's closed at the moment, but they look forward to welcoming guests back as soon as restrictions are lifted.
That's it from Ballinhinch and Connemara and Cunday na Gaillimhe. I hope you enjoyed the programme. From all the Nationwide team, Slán Aggie.
On Wednesdays Nationwide, we meet the N17 singer, Tolu McKay, whose soulful voice has brought a tear to all who've heard her sing. She tells us all about growing up in her hometown of Tullamore.
And that, of course, as usual, on Wednesday night at 7 here on One. Next, romantic recipes for lovers who have to make their own meals this Valentine's. And then Shirley finds out what Sharon and Phil have been up to in EastEnders at 8.
For those little sniffles and coughs, get expert care nationwide. Life Pharmacy sponsors Nationwide.
Millions of people